Eloheinu avak shel tov loch. My dear friends, today Erev Tisha B'Av, and we certainly hope that this Tisha B'Av will already be a celebration. We will be feasting and not fasting. And let's look at what the parsha of this week says about it. So here we have two verses where the pasuk says, "Batzar lecha u'tzaucha, kol advarim eile bachis hayomim, v'shavta ad Hashem Elokecha v'shemata b'kolah." When you are distressed, and all these things happen upon you in the end of days, then you will return to the Lord your God and obey Him. And the passage continues, for God is a merciful God. He will not let you lose or destroy you. Neither will He forget the covenant of your fathers, which He swore to them. Obviously, what the passage refers to over here, that in the end of the days, the end of exile, when the suffering will be so overwhelming, we will all return and do teshuvah, and that's when God is going to redeem us. So listen to what the Orach Chaim HaKadosh, Rabbi Chaim Ben Attar, explains these verses by telling the story which is related in the Zohar, in the Holy Zohar, in Kabbalah. And there it says the following. Rabbi Yehuda the Prince, Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, the author and compiler of the entire Mishnah, which is the whole Or Law, was contemplating this verse that we just read. And he was wondering, since we have suffered so much hardship, how come we haven't done proper teshuvah yet? As it says in the first verse, it says, V'shavta ad Hashem Elokecha. At that very moment, Elijah the prophet came to him, to Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, and tells him, I want you to know that God Himself is right now learning this verse. Angel Michael, who is the protector of the Jewish people, came to God and asked, why the Jewish people are still in exile? And the angel says, you, God, you know that you are merciful and forgiving. So God responded to the Malach. That's what Elijah the prophet tells Rabbi Yehuda Nasi. Let's bring the angel of Edom, the angel of Rome, the angel of evil, and let's hear what he has to say. So then this angel said, Master of the universe, you said that the Jewish people will be under the rule of Edom, which is Rome, until they will be righteous. As far as I'm concerned, they're not. God said, Elijah, rebuke this evil angel. How dare you speak ill of my children? He got very frightened, and the Medrash says he ran away 3,000 miles. Whatever that means in the spiritual world, but it's a distance. And then God said to Malach Michael, when you look in the verses that you quote about me being merciful, first it says, V'shavta ad Hashem Elokecha. They must return to me, and only then will I be merciful. So Michael, standing up for the Jewish people, and responds to God and says, yes, nevertheless, you're the merciful one, and as such, it behooves that you take the first step. And then God said, I give an oath that if and when the Jewish people will just make a tiny step towards me, no bigger than the opening than a needle hole, I will do the giant leap and opening the size of the ulam, of the huge hole, where the Talmud describes that all the openings in the Beis Hamikdash were all 10 feet wide and 20 feet tall. The opening to the ulam, to the heichal, to the inner sanctuary, was 20 feet wide and, 20 amma, 20 amma. Each amma is 2 feet. So that is 40 feet wide and 40 amma high. That's how large I will make the opening. In other words, indicating the entrance to the Holy of Holies. So the Orach Chaim explains that the request from Malach Michael was not just that God should be merciful. He knew very well the condition it takes first, that we first must repent, and then God in His mercy will redeem us. But the angels argued that after all the suffering of the Jewish people, the onus is on you, God, to bring the people to Teshuvah and then redeem them. But we add, the Rebbe said we all did Teshuvah. So God, now is the time. And let's make sure that this Tisha B'Av, the night that is, should not be a fast day. We should all celebrating with you in the Beis Hamikdash. On that note, let's wish each other good Yom Tov.